So today I'm going to show you how to make these great little wee folk stockings. They're perfect as ornaments or as small gift bags. The pattern's real simple. There's only a couple of small variations. This particular pattern has, for the most part, been around for decades, but it's what you do with it. So, for example, these great little clothespins. They're perfect. If you were to take some twine and string it right through the center of this clothespin and put several of these on that, you would have a fantastic garland. This right here is perfect for a tree ornament. Also, it is great to put little candies in, give out as gifts. You can even fit a gift card into this. What a great way to give that to somebody. And then you can also use them as a slightly bigger gift bag, for lack of a better description. Maybe you've got a whole bunch of friends, whether you're in high school or even just around the office. You can go ahead and make these in no time, and they're actually very, very quick. You make them in no time, and then you can fill them with, chocolates or candies or whatever other little inexpensive gifts, or maybe not so inexpensive gifts you'd like to put in that. And it would be a greatly appreciated gift. It's thoughtful, it's easy, it's not expensive at all. These are totally made with your scrap yarns and threads. So, for example, this right here, this little stocking, right? And you can see I just embellished these with some stickers that I had. I have these foam back stickers that just happen to be in my stash, my craft stash, not doing much of anything. And along with these clothespins. And what a great way to use those up. And they don't cost me anything because I've already paid for them. And now this particular little stocking, this stocking was made with number 10 or size 10 crochet thread and some size 1 lace yarn. And I use a D3 for these little ones, right? Just scrap, takes hardly any yarn. So for example, this is all made with size 10 crochet thread. Also, the size D crochet hook to get this size. You could probably even go smaller. You can do micro and actually do thread and get into the real, I'm going to guess maybe a size 14, a 12 or a 14 steel hook size for that. And this one right here is made with, right in here, this is made with the size 3 fashion crochet thread. So it's a thicker crochet thread than the number 10 crochet thread. And then also some sock yarn, some very fine fingerling sock yarn is right in here. So that gives you a little different chunk. Now the next size is a worsted weight yarn. This is actually some wool tapestry yarn. I have it in the gray and in this dark deep burgundy red. Also up here is some novelty yarn that I just purchased at the hobby store here not too long ago. It was on clearance. And it's just kind of fuzzy. I think it's from Lion Brand, and it just sort of looks like a faux fur. And so that worked out perfectly for this one. And for this size, for the worsted weight size, I use a size E, 3.5 millimeter. And that makes this size. Same pattern for this as for this. And then this stocking right here, this little bit bigger one, maybe a little more functional if you're actually going to want to put some larger candies or bigger gifts into there. You are going to simply need a size G hook and whatever scrap bulky yarn you have. This yarn. So right here, this is some leftover scrap velvet yarn that I had. And then this is just a bulky kind of curly kind of thicker, heavier weight yarn that I also have. And so it make this one as well. Again, for these ones, I just broke out my selection of stickers. So now, like, for example, this particular sticker here is just kind of metals and these little plastic gems. And this you can just glue on. A little bit of glue just goes right on there. Same with here. It gives it that special holiday kind of a feel. And then, of course, your your little clothespins. Also, keep in mind too that if you don't want to use a clothespin, you can always glue one of those small magnets, craft magnets, to the back of these and use them as refrigerator magnets, or give them to your friends so that they can put them as small gifts, you know, quick little holiday gifts. There's so many things you can do with these, and it's so simple. So without any more to do, I just want to remind you, my name is Sig and this is my channel. And if you find value in what it is I give you today, please hit the like button. Also subscribe to my channel, and also, you know, and make sure that you hit the bell so you can be notified of any new videos that I come out with. Let's get started. Okay, so for this stocking, I am going to use the worsted weight wool tapestry yarn. And I'm going to begin with the toe to top. Just slip stitch. And then I'm going to crochet 4 chains. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the first chain. And I'm going to make a single chain. And then I'm going to make a single crochet in that same stitch. Then I'm going to single crochet 2 single crochets in that same stitch. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to do 1 single crochet. And then, so I'm into my 3rd stitch now. So for my 4th stitch, I'm going to do 2 single crochets. So what that gives me is that gives me a total of 6 single crochets in this first round. Now we're going to be working in a spiral. And for this one, you really don't need to use a stitch marker, and you'll see why here in just a moment. So I'm going to go into the very first single crochet of my round 1, and I'm going to begin the pattern again. So I'm going to do a single crochet, that'll be 1, and then in my next stitch I'm going to do 2 single crochets. So 2, 3, and then 4 single crochet in the next stitch, and then 5 and 6, 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 7, a single crochet in the stitch after that, and then 8 and 9. And that'll be the end of round 2, and that'll give me 9 single crochets in this round. So now I'm going to continue with that same pattern, except I'm going to end the 3rd round with 12 stitches. And so I'll begin once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 11 and 12. Okay, so if you haven't noticed, it's 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. Now we've just finished round 4, and that's left me with 12 single crochets in this round. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to follow that same pattern, but I'm going to stop my count at 16. So we're going to just come short of completing round 5, and you'll see why here in just a moment. So the first stitch is 1. Second stitch is 2 single crochets, giving me a count of 3. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, then 13, 14, 15 in that next stitch. And then the last single crochet in round 5, even though we haven't quite completed round 5, is going to be my 16. Okay, so now from here I'm going to actually change colors. So I have completed the toe of my sock. I'm going to go ahead, and when you change a color, for those who are unaware, you're going to change, or you're going to start your new color in the last step of the previous stitch. So here I'm doing a single crochet, and normally I would do a yarn over and then pull that yarn right on through to complete my single crochet. That would be the last step in that, but I'm changing colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my new color. And I'm going to bring that new color through and complete my single crochet, my last single crochet in the old color with the new color. And then now I'm just simply going to start single crocheting in my new color. And I'm going to continue working in a spiral. And I'm going to just use this same color until I get ready to start the heel. And so for this particular size stocking, you're probably going to want to do 2.5 inches for the instep of the foot, for the length of the foot, before we transition to making the heel. Depending on the yarn you use and depending on the look you're looking to get, your mileage may vary. You may only want the instep of your foot to be 1.5 inches long. Or you may want it to be, you know, the foot of a very long-footed critter. And so then you may decide that you want the instep of your foot to be 3.5 inches long. That's fine. You just going to keep continuing to single crochet all the way around until you get the desired length that you are looking for. But for this size, for your standard sock, you're going to want about 2.5 inches. Okay, so I'm about as far along as I want to be for the actual foot of this sock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch colors. I'm going to go back to the red because we're going to use that as the heel. And then I'm going to single crochet 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, as usual, you can weave your tails in later, but I personally just like to weave them in as I crochet. It's easier that way for me, and it might as well is how I look at it. So I'm going to, at this point, I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to turn my work, And then I'm going to single crochet in the next 9 stitches. So that one chain that we just did, that's going to actually be a stand-in for a single crochet. And so you'll still have 10 counts, 10 stitch count on this heel part of your sock. Okay, so you've just completed round 2 or row 2 of your sock. You're going to do a chain, turn your work, and then single crochet in the next single crochet. And we're going to do that for row 3 of the heel. And I'm going to, when we complete that row, I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work, and then I'm going to do row 4 of the heel in the same manner. And then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to do 1 more row. So I use 5 rows for the heel. Okay, now that you've completed row 5 for the heel, I'm going to take the 2 ends and I'm going to bring them together. So I'm going to fold it together like that. And then right here at the very first stitch of the row, I'm going to slip stitch. So you can see how I've just slip stitched those 2 corners together to make the heel and the back of my sock. And I'm going to finish this up by doing a single crochet, or basically 4 single crochets down the back of this heel. Just make sure it's evenly spaced. And this is where I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tie it off with a slip stitch. And then I'm going to weave it on through. And just pull it into the sock. Okay, so you can kind of see now, they've got the toe, the instep, and the heel. And I'm going to get my gray again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into that very back stitch, that slip stitch that we made when we connected the 2 corners together. And then I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch that in there. And then I'm going to make a single crochet in that same space. And then I'm going to continue to single crochet in each space after that all the way around. And I'm still going to be working in a spiral until I get to about the length of the leg part of my sock that I want. Now I'm going to show you 2 different techniques. I am going to first show you, when we get to that place, I'm going to first show you how to incorporate the little hanger tag off the back of the sock, as you saw in a couple of the socks that I had made. And then also, along with that, I'm going to also show you how to make the ribbing for the top of the sock, if that's a look that you would prefer. So those are going to be two different approaches that I am going to show you with regards to the leg part of the sock when we get there. And it'll be just a few minutes, and then we will be ready to discuss the different approaches to the cuff of the sock. Okay, so this is about where I'm going to start the ribbing for my sock. But before we do that, I'm going to show you how I make the little hanger. So I come to the back of the sock, and then I go ahead and I chain stitch 13 stitches. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And then I single crochet in the very next stitch. And then I continue to single crochet. So if I get to this point and I'm going to change colors, and I want to do, oh, let's say like this particular yarn right here, this is where I would actually change colors to that yarn. But I'm not going to do that here. We're just going to continue so that I can show you what I would do next. So I would come around. Okay, and then as I come here to the back, I would actually go ahead and single crochet in the next single crochet. And then right here in this last single crochet where I start my chain from, I will actually make a single crochet in that stitch. And then I will pinch it together to where when I connected that chain down here to its single crochet and single crocheted it into the next stitch, that is the single crochet I am going to use to single crochet in. And then I will continue on to make that cuff maybe another row higher. And so you can see right there how that gives you a nice little hanger for the back of your stocking. Just works it right in there. Okay, so I'm going to take this out right here. And I'm going to go ahead and change colors. Because I'm going to do my ribbed cuff in this sock in this deep red color. So now I personally want to do a round first of single crochets before I start with the ribbing. That's my personal preference. You don't have to do it that way. You can go straight into the ribbing if you like. But this is how I do it. And once we get around this one row of single crochets in this deep red, I will then begin to start my ribbing. Okay, so I've come back around again. Go ahead and I'm going to chain 6. And then I'm going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And then I'm going to single crochet in each additional chain. So that'll give me 5 single crochets on the chain. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to single crochet into the next stitch on the sock. And I'm going to turn my work. And then I'm going to single crochet in the back loops only from here on in for the ribbing part. I'm going to single crochet in the stitches on up. So that's going to be 5 single crochets. And then I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to turn my work. Back loop only. I'm going to single crochet in the 5 stitches back down towards the sock. And then I'm going to single crochet in that next single crochet on the base there down at the sock. And I'm going to chain 1, and then again single crochet in the next stitch in the back loop only. And I'm going to continue just like this until I've gone all the way around my sock. So chain, back loop only, single crochet, back down to the sock, to the base. Okay, so now that we're at the end of this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail as I finish that off, and then I'm going to sew this in the back like so. And I'm going to weave it in a little bit. And then that gives me this sock with this fan-like ribbing. Sort of like what you saw on my little fairy sock. Now there are different things I can do to liven this up. I could of course put a bow there. I could put some little motifs there, anything. There's really quite a bit you can do with that. It was really such a pleasure to have you with me today. And until we meet again, stay crafty.